The reason why most people struggle to lose fat is because they miss the first and most important step in the fat loss process, which is identifying the things that have caused them to overeat. If you can learn to prevent yourself from overeating, you have won way more than half the battle when it comes to the fat loss process. We'll get to the other steps in a moment, but I ask you, what have been the triggers that have led you to overeating? Are you like I was in the past, where I'd be really good for a few days, but that would lead to a binge eating experience? I just find that I lose control. I'd have one cookie, it'd lead to two, it'd lead to three. Next thing you know, I ate the whole box, a tub of ice cream, and a box of cereal. Or are you really good during the week, but it's the weekends where you lose control? Or are you really good most of the time until you find yourself in social situations? Or maybe it's just the temptations in the house that you're really struggling to deal with. Maybe your kids love to have a lot of their favorite treats in the house all the time, and you just really struggle to deal with those temptations all around the house. So whatever those triggers are, maybe it's emotional eating. Maybe you eat when you're bored, you're stressed, you're excited, you want to celebrate a certain situation, and once you get going, you just lose control. Maybe it's after having one drink of alcohol, you lose all inhibitions, and next thing you know, you're eating way more than you typically do. So I would love to hear, what are the things that triggers the situations that have led you to overeat in the past? And then the next step is, how do you overcome those situations? How do you plan for those situations so you can learn and grow through this process and learn to handle them a whole lot better, improving each and every time? We're never going to be perfect. There's always going to be situations where we may eat a little bit more than we had initially planned, but the goal is to make them fewer and far between. And whenever you do overeat, it's not as much as it used to be. It's like still comfortable. You're never feeling like stuffed and gluttonous and just really, really freaking uncomfortable. I haven't felt that way in over 7 years now, ever since I realized that I just don't enjoy that feeling of being over full, like going to bed with a bloated stomach, uncomfortable, tossing and turning from side to side, having some acid reflux, so getting a crappy night's sleep, feeling crappy the next day because of that lack of sleep, also the bloat in my stomach, my digestive system out of whack. I'm like, I don't ever want to feel that way again. There's just, it didn't create any more joy from that experience. Like overeating doesn't add any more joy or pleasure to my eating experience. I'm much better off eating to the point of satisfaction. So when I found myself being really good for 3 days, having that cookie on the third or fourth day and going, wow, this is so good. I've been really good for a few days here. I deserve this cookie. And then I'm like, you know what? I can have another one. I've been, again, really good here. And then thinking to myself, oh, you know what? I blew my diet. I'm going to start again tomorrow or start again Monday, whatever it is. So how can I have a counter argument in those situations? And basically it's coming down to, all right, Scott, you've repeated this cycle over and over again. Every time you tell yourself that you're justifying it from being good for a few days, and then, you have a few and then it leads to a binge eating experience. Like, you know, that's not going to pay off. Starting again tomorrow, it's going to be good for a few days, and then you're going to follow that cycle over and over again. So what can you do to make the situation better the next time you're faced with it? And a lot of it came down to, I was being too restrictive with my nutrition. I was trying to be like all or nothing. Like, for the 3 days in a row, I was going to be great, and then maybe have a binge eating experience there, where I learned that I can have a treat each and every day. If I have 2-3 cookies, I can allow that to hit my calorie target for the day, and I'm golden. If I go a little bit over my calorie target for the day, I know I can eat a little bit less the next day. And really what matters most is the total calories at the end of the week. So learning to handle those situations. When I'm in social situations, learning that, you know what, again, I can plan for that in advance. If I know I'm going out with friends, maybe allow myself to have one alcohol beverage, or I know the meal that I'm going to have there, and I'm going to eat a little bit less throughout the day, but not too little throughout the day, because I don't want to get there, be like starving and ravenous and just want to eat everything in sight. Just knowing myself, my past experiences, and how I can improve upon them the next time. Or maybe I just don't want to drink, and knowing that I'm going to face some criticism from others, but that's a decision that I want to make for myself. If I don't feel like drinking in that moment isn't going to serve me best, if I just don't want to have an alcohol beverage, just because someone else is like twisting my arm, come on, have another one. Just, we don't get together often. If I don't want one, I'm not going to do it just because you want me to drink. Like, I just don't want a beverage. Learn to like me the way I am right now, drinking a soda water or something along those lines, or just water in general. So learning to handle those situations in a way that's going to serve you best and still have a great experience overall. If it's weekends, planning having more structure in your weekends, or again, planning ahead, knowing that, all right, I'm going to be having pizza this weekend. What do I need to do to accommodate that into my calorie target? Maybe not just for the day, but for the week in general. So knowing that it might be a little bit over for the day, so I can eat a little bit less the next day. Chances are I'm not going to be as hungry after this pizza, so I know it's going to be easy for me to eat a little less the next day. So again, no guilt from that experience overall, because you were planning for that. You're fitting it in there. You're enjoying the meal. You're savoring every bite, and just learning that in general as well. Just learning to be present in the moment while you're eating, while you're drinking, savoring every bite, savoring every sip, savoring the company that you're with, chewing slowly, like really thoroughly enjoying that moment there, that experience there is going to be huge. So not only identifying the triggers, the things that have caused you to overeat in the past, but learning how to improve upon them in the future. Again, knowing that you're never going to be perfect, but you can continue to improve upon them for weeks, months, and years and decades to come. It's a never-ending learning process here to learn what's going to serve us best, what's going to allow us to thrive in all aspects of our life, really live our lives to the fullest. So once you have conquered that first step, you have written down notes and notes, because chances are there's a lot of things that have led us to overeat there. So you make notes of those things and how you're going to improve upon it in the future. That is the step that most people miss. Then it's the typical step of step number 2, just creating a calorie deficit. There's a million and one ways you can go about this. Every single diet plan out there, whether it's paleo, intermittent fasting, carnivore, Mediterranean, all these diets are designed in a way that's going to help you create a calorie deficit. And the reason some are successful for others and some aren't successful for others all depends on how it suits you, your personality, your lifestyle, your personal preferences, and what makes it easier for you to stick with, to adhere to that calorie deficit. For myself personally, what I encourage my clients to do is to simply take what they're normally eating and just reduce the portion sizes. Become aware of the amount of food that they're consuming. If you aren't losing weight on a weekly basis, you're not trending downwards throughout the course of the month there, you know you're not in a calorie deficit. So you need to modify your nutrition intake. You can simply, if your nutrition is pretty structured, just reduce the portion sizes that you're consuming. Or maybe you think to yourself, you know what, maybe I don't need 2 creams in my coffee. I might be good with 1. That's one way you can reduce some of the calories. Where else can you kind of remove some of the unnecessary calories that are in your diet there? So reducing the overall portion sizes. Maybe you want to improve upon your nutrition by removing some of the processed foods from your diet and introducing more whole natural nutrient rich foods, incorporating more veggies, which in itself is going to create more volume from the food that you're eating. So it's going to fill up your stomach more. And it's going to naturally cause you to eat fewer calories throughout the day. So really creating that calorie deficit comes down to managing your portion control while consuming the foods that make you feel your best. So I want you to have that heightened sense of awareness with the foods that allow you to thrive, perform your best in the gym, outside of the gym, give the best of yourself to your family, have the mental focus and clarity to be more productive with your work. Just again, living your life to the fullest. So there's no foods that you need to avoid or foods that you need to eat. It's just really having that heightened sense of awareness of what's going to suit you best. So the diet, the food that you're consuming, is a part of that calorie calculation when it comes to creating that calorie deficit. The other thing is your activity level. So what are the activities that are going to serve you best? I highly recommend resistance training. I think a lot of the people who are following this channel, Lose Fat, Get Jacked channel here, are already resistance training. So in the fat loss process, it's not so much about building muscle as it is about preserving your muscle mass and maybe kind of shaping your body, but it does contribute a little bit to the calorie burn. So I don't want you seeking out what is the best workout plan to lose fat, because really it's not going to be about that. You're not going to be burning a whole lot of calories from any kind of workout plan out there. So you just want to utilize that program that's going to suit your schedule best, suit your lifestyle best, suit you and your own personal goals best, that you're going to thoroughly enjoy. That's really what it comes down to. And just smart training where you're managing the muscle damage and control, because you're going to be in a calorie deficit. You may not have quite the energy and the strength that you typically do. So really being careful not to overdo it with the weight training, just finding that dose that's going to suit you best. Outside of that, we're looking at cardio. And again, when it comes to cardio activities, yes, it's going to contribute to your calorie burn, so that calorie equation of burning more than you're consuming, but you're really, the focus of the cardiovascular training is to improve your cardiovascular health, your circulatory health there, your conditioning. So that is what I really encourage you to focus on when it comes to your activities, the weight training, the cardio. That's stuff I want you to keep in for the long term, for life, because it's only going to help you improve your overall well-being. And then NEAT, like the non-exercise activity thermogenesis, that's where you're going to get most of your calorie burn there. I like to just be on my feet most of the day. I work at a stand-up desk. I'm just moving and grooving all the time. It's very rare throughout the day that I sit. I do enjoy sitting. I do enjoy some chill time here and there, but I do spend most of my day just on my feet. You see, I'm talking with my hands like that. That in itself burns calories as well. So if you're more of a fidgeter and all that kind of stuff, you are going to burn more calories. That's not something you're going to mindfully do. I want to talk more with my hands because it's going to burn more calories throughout the day. But you can be on your feet more. I do find that I'm more productive. I'm more focused. I have a lot more mental clarity when I'm working at a stand-up desk, as opposed to the past when I used to sit down at a desk. It's been years. It's been at least 6 years since I've been using solely a stand-up desk, and I absolutely freaking love it. So that really, it's simple, like really 2 steps when it comes to losing fat, how to lose fat. Number 1, identifying what has caused you to overeat in the past and what can you do to overcome it. And number 2, create a calorie deficit. So you want to make sure that you are burning more than what you're consuming. So part of that is going to come from the food, the amount of food that you're consuming. Part of that's going to come from the activities that you're performing. So you don't want to be running yourself into the ground with your activities. Choose activities and an active lifestyle that you want to maintain for life. Do the activities that bring great joy to your life. So outside of the gym, I am looking at paddleboarding. I'm looking at jogging, which I keep coming back to, because I find I gain the most benefit cardiovascularly from jogging. So I just need to ease myself into it, not overdo it to protect my knees. And I need to incorporate a variety of cardio protocols in there so I'm not overtraining in that regard. So getting some rowing in there, maybe some biking in there, doing activities that, again, I look forward to doing. It's not like, oh man, I gotta do cardio today. I gotta get out and be active. No, it's like, I can't wait to get out there on the paddleboard. I can't wait to get out of the jog because I can clear my mind right now, feel my lungs sucking a little bit of wind there, just really getting out in nature, being aware of my surroundings there. So doing things that bring great joy to my life. Really, that is how you lose fat the smart way. That's going to allow you to not only get it off, but keep it off for life and really live your life to the fullest with confidence, pride, zest, and vitality. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button. And really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. If you know a fellow bro who would benefit from watching today's video, please do me a favor and share it with him. But more than anything, I'd love to hear from you down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts, share insights, share feedback. And as I mentioned, I'd love to hear what are the things that have caused you to overeat in the past, and what is going to be your plan of attack to prevent that in the future, or at least improve upon that in the future. Before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Lose Fat, Get Jacked. I'll include it down below in the description, as well as the top pinned comment. Have yourself an amazing day. I'll catch you in the next video.